you guys don't like the business videos and you're just here on my channel for the lookbooks or the trend reports, then kindly go ahead and exit from this video. I understand you don't want to hear me talk business talk, but for those of you that seem to have appreciated my previous videos on where to buy wholesale, this video's for you. What's up guys, it's the iconic fashion figure back with another video. So today we'll be talking about whether or not it's okay for you to change the labels in the garments that you've purchased wholesale. And then what the service is, what it's called, and how you get it done, or if you could do it yourself. So starting out with what is the service of having labels changed. It's called private labeling. It's basically where you change the labels or either have your supplier ship the garments with your brand's logo inside of the garment where the name tag usually would be at. It's called the garment tag. So can you change the labels yourself? I would be careful with that because it depends on the brand. There's some brands that will allow you to change the labels yourself. There's some brands that will consider it a copyright infringement, so you want to be careful when you're changing labels in garments. The one thing I can recommend to you is if you're planning to buy from a wholesaler and then put your own labels into it, I would recommend getting written consent that it's okay for you to change those labels. That way you don't have to worry about any type of lawsuits. Chances of there being a lawsuit is pretty slim, especially if you're a small business. They're not really checking every brand to see if they change labels or not. But just so you're safe, get it in writing that it's okay for you to change it. Now, do suppliers offer this service? Yes, a lot of them do offer this service. So if you watch my last video on where to find these wholesale suppliers, all you have to do is once you've gone through all those steps of finding the ones that you like and the ones you want to work with, when you reach out to them, you ask them, do they offer private labeling? And what is the cost for private labeling? Because it's normally not free. I will say to you, for me and my brand, I do offer private labeling. And the only thing I require, which most brands aren't like me, which makes it a lot easier for me, and that's why I'm typically a go-to for smaller brands, is that I only require a minimum of 300 spent. And it doesn't have to be 300 all in one style. It can be different styles. And most of the buyers that I have, they're typically spending that anyway because it's basically like getting 3 pre-packs. So let's say getting 2 tops in a dress or 3 different dresses or top, bottom, and dress, whatever combination. Most are spending that anyway, and now they have the opportunity of adding their labels. Most suppliers will either require you to buy a minimum of one style. So let's say we're buying this shirt that I'm wearing. They may require you to buy 300 pieces just of this one shirt in this color in order for them to add labels in it. And then on top of it, they may charge you another fee to swap out the labels. So taking out their label and putting your label in, they may charge you $1 per garment. So if you just bought 300 of these and now you're spending another $300 on top of it to change out the labels. And that number is not like the set fee for everyone's different, so you just have to inquire about what it costs. I know there are some companies out there that literally just offer that service where you can have your goods shipped to them. They'll change out the labels for you. Again, they're going to have a set fee to change out the labels for you, but they'll do it as well. It's the private labeling service. So yes, it can be done. If you're using one of those other like third-party private labeling services, still have it in written consent that it was okay for you to change the labels before you do it. The only way you know you're safe for sure is if you're having the direct supplier private label the goods for you, because now it's their merchandise that they've agreed to put your label in. Now, how does it work as far as having your supplier private label the goods for you? It can work one of 2 ways, which like for me, I do both. One, they can have you send in your garment labels and your hang tags. is once you guys come to that agreement of how much you're paying for it, they can tell you, okay, send in the labels, send in the hang tags, we'll have our factory put in those labels for you, and then they'll just charge you that fee. Or they may tell you, okay, send us your artwork, we'll have the labels created for you and then add it into the garments. Now, of course, if they're creating the labels for you, they're going to charge you another fee for creating the labels. Like for me, I don't charge an additional fee to add the labels on. Once you spend that minimum of $300 or more, I will automatically put the labels in for you, but I do require you to pay the setup fee for the labels. Once you pay that initial setup fee to have your labels created, because you're sending me the design, then there's no additional fees on it. We just put the labels in. Or if you choose to, you can send in your labels to me and your hang tags, and I'll just have it applied to that order once you meet that $300 minimum. Every supplier is different, so you just have to inquire about it to see how it works with each supplier, because I'm telling you, all of them will be different. Some of them be the same, but for the most part, everyone has their own way of doing it. Some won't do it at all. They just want to sell it in with their label, and they'll tell you that, you know, I'll give you written consent to go ahead and go out and have it done elsewhere. Now, I know the next question is, well, can they just send it to me without any labels? That way we can just add the labels in. I don't know of any suppliers that will send you blanks, basically the design without a label. I certainly wouldn't do that. I'm going to ship it with my labels. If you choose to take it out, then fine. But I'm not going to send it to you with no labels at all. And I don't think any other suppliers will do that. So for the final question, do I recommend private labeling? Most people think because I am a manufacturer and sell wholesale that I would say no, I don't recommend private labeling, because everyone thinks I want to sell it with my brand. But truthfully, if you're a boutique owner, I would recommend private labeling to you. For one, it's a branding tactic for you. It's good as far as marketing and getting your name out there. So when you're shipping goods, your customers are always seeing your name on the garment. They're seeing it on the packaging, wherever you can put your name, that's where they're seeing it at. So it's good branding for you and for your customers to always remember your name. Two, if you have any other buyers, your competition that's out there, and you're working with a new brand that they don't know about yet, they can shop your store, which actually I recommended to you guys in the last video. If you can, shop other boutiques. That's how you'll learn about some brands that you may not be aware of. Something's in my eye. Well, there is people out there that's doing that, where they're shopping other brands to see what wholesalers are out there and then go do their research. So, but if you change the labels to your own brand's label, they won't know where you got it from. That's what brands like Fashion Nova does. They're not the ones designing this stuff. They may help design now because they buy so much. They may work with the manufacturers to create their own designs and have the manufacturer do it for them. But when they started out, they were just shopping in the fashion district, and then actually, when they first started out, they weren't changing the labels, because I used to go shop in their stores and I could see where they would get it from. And I was like, oh no, I'm not buying it out of their store, I'll just go downtown, because I lived in LA at the time. But then they switched over and they started putting their own labels in it, and then that's when they really started to grow. So definitely, I would recommend to you private labeling. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to do a quick discussion on private labeling, because I know people tend to have questions about that and how to go about it, because nobody really knows how to get started. It's pretty easy once you know what the service is, which is private labeling. So I would take a shot at it. If it works for you, great. Keep it going. If it doesn't, just purchase the garments with the label and sell it in with the vendor's labels. It's all the same anyway. You're still selling the garment, is what's selling, is not the label. Unless you start to grow big and people start to know your name and they see that label and they're gonna buy just because it's your name. But until you get to that point, the label doesn't matter. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, be sure to hit the subscribe and click the bell for notifications so you'll get notified when I upload. Hopefully next week I'll have a trends video for you guys, or maybe more business talk. So I'll see you guys next week.